Welcome back to Southern Two-Lane.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm DJ Seeley, one of your hosts for the night. With me I have
Randy B.
Jimmy J.
What's happening?
Chris Buck Owens.
Buck Owens.
Bucko.
Bucko.
I think for this episode,
Bucko.
we'll call this the Buck Owens episode
Oh.
and play Streets of Bakersville.
Yes. The with the Dwight Yoakam.
Can we use
Sing along?
he as the
Yeah.
intro?
I think we could.
Outro or
Yeah. I'll take it.
Maybe put a picture of his bike whenever he was riding it to Sturgis of the broken off engine bolt.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we told that story. We told that
Oh,
story.
yeah, we did.
Oh, did I already miss that one?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
you missed that. We
Yeah.
told that story a couple
We did.
episodes ago.
Wow, I'm behind.
Once again, a Harley Davidson bagger failed to make it through the trip without having to stop at the repair shop.
But as I stated on that episode, 3 episodes ago, it made for a damn good story.
Oh, yeah.
And anytime there's hiccups, whether it's oil spewing out your tailpipe or broken engine mount bolts, it makes for good stories.
Well,
And what can you expect? You were pushing over 1,000 miles
Yep,
in one
yep.
single trip.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I was probably about a good 600 miles in at that point.
600 miles. I mean,
Well, you know, Harleys always leave their mark. It would be easy for people to track you, because it'd be oil drops
Right.
everywhere you parked and pulled over. So
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what Harleys y'all ride. Mine are perfect.
I've just broken one bolt.
3 tanks of gas to every stop at a repair shop is reasonable, I think.
I mean, why do you think they put Harley shops though right
so
beside the
many
interstate?
Right.
There's
You
so
know,
much
make it an
service
easy access for the
makes
wreckers.
sense.
You know, not to get off on a tangent here, but we've had a conversation about that. There is no motorcycle brand in the world that has not only the quantity of dealerships, but the sheer magnitude of every single dealership that looks like it costs millions.
Yeah. They deck them out.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they do.
I mean, I do feel like you have to limit that to a geographical area. I do agree with you. Harley Davidson, probably dealership for dealership, has more dealerships than any other manufacturer.
Right.
They got more than Victory.
But that's. They do.
We'll get into it.
Touche.
We'll get
Touche.
into it.
We'll get there.
But I think that's the United States. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
We were down in Costa Rica this summer, and there were motorcycles buzzing around all over the place down there. Little Honda 125s and
Yeah,
250s,
yeah.
and
Wait, you didn't see any road glides and
the
street
only resemblance of Harley Davidson down there were at these little gift shops, and it was not trademarked and registered, and licensed, and approved stuff. It was just, you know.
It is.
Old boy from the U.S. will buy this T-shirt if we put a Harley Davidson logo that's
Yeah.
stretched out of proportion and
But
put it on the side of this mug.
But the city or the country name at the bottom.
Brother.
That's right, brother.
Oh, like
That's
y'all,
right.
you guys remember back in the day the Hard Rock Cafe T-shirts?
Yes.
You
Oh,
collect
yeah.
those and you try to get one.
Well,
from
but there
wherever.
is. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had them from Disney Springs back when Disney had their separate little area where they had Cirque du Soleil shows and Rainforest Cafe, and it was kind of a shopping area more away from the actual park.
Yeah.
And they actually had a Harley Davidson outpost in Disney Springs. Don't know if I got pictures when we were down there young with the boys of me and the boys each taking a turn getting a picture.
Well, you know
on
why
their
I was
dummy
there.
bikes in
Like,
there.
I mean, the husbands that were forced to go on family vacation that would have rather been on a motorcycle trip
I
had
guess.
to have at least
I
some
guess.
place to look
Yeah.
And
look
we've had
at
this conversation
while they were there.
before. When I guess it was last summer, wife and I went to the Bahamas, and you go into town where the cruise ships dock, and lo and behold,
Oh yeah.
Harley Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
But there ain't a motorcycle for sale.
yeah,
No,
so-
they're not. And you do the same thing when you go to Jamaica to get off at the port. You go to Honduras, Belize. You get off all these ports, and there's a Harley Davidson outpost that says Harley Davidson of Honduras or Harley Davidson.
So when,
of
when you
Belize.
say outpost, you mean like Lynchburg?
Yes, they do
Okay,
not
okay.
sell
So it's-
motorcycles.
It's apparel
merchandise-
only.
Yeah, merchandise
Yes.
only. Okay.
Yep.
You get your
Yep.
poker chip and a T-shirt.
Okay,
There's one at Tellico Springs before you start going up to Charles
Yeah.
Skyway. There's one sitting right there.
Yeah.
they're not just
Oh, I've been
in
to that one.
tourist
Yeah,
areas,
Yeah.
but they're very prominent out in the. You
Okay,
know.
so my question is, for the one in Disney, did the poker chip have a picture of Mickey on it?
Well, so odd enough, back then I was just buying shirts. Didn't know anything about
Okay.
poker chips, so I
Okay.
have no idea.
Okay.
And that was back in 2010, so that's been a long time ago.
Okay, and
Um,
I mean, viewers, listeners may not know the significance of poker chip. What's that all about?
Don't you know that? Sorry, I don't mean to.
It's just something
to
to
steal
spend money on.
Yeah.
Your role there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the pissing match between Harley Davidson and Disney?
Oh.
Who was going to pay through the royalties?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you went there. That's fun to think about.
Well, let's see. From a conglomerate perspective, I would say Disney's probably could buy Harley out a couple times
A
over.
few
Oh, yeah.
times over.
But
Lights on Sunday.
from where we have arrived at our time in existence, I would say that probably your Disney folks could be beaten up by your Harley folks. So-
let's see what you did there. Yeah.
You were sent a text message that said, please do not come into the basement. But since you're here, we'll put you on video.
Everybody, welcome Tanner.
Hey.
Come say hey, Tanner.
Yeah, you got to get on video.
Tell us
now.
about your golf game today.
Hey, my second round went pretty good.
How'd your first round go?
Pretty good.
You had a
beat
good
Jay
game.
and Ron.
Who?
Anyway, so yes, Disney Springs and Harley, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be like watching. That'd be like watching Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth have a fight.
Listen, I would purchase.
Do you know?
Oh yeah, you know, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
He knows how. He knows who that is.
Snap into a Slim Jim,
And
man.
Randy dated
Now,
himself right there.
I would purchase that pay per view. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd have probably went more like Conor McGregor or something.
Well, I would have chimed in with Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior, or remember the Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah, Sting.
Jake.
So
the Snake
Ronda
Roberts.
Rousey was,
Dig me
All of them.
That's it.
All of them
That's it.
interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund.
Oh, Mean Gene.
Oh, now we're showing our
Mean
age.
Gene.
And
Yeah.
a Ric Flair. Mean. Woo, Gene.
Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And now you got.
That's right. Oh my God. So,
Oh man.
all right, guys. So
I cut Buck off there.
you cut Buck off, and
He was
they,
asking about the significance of poker chip.
Yeah. So I really, if the cameraman, there's a whole bunch of them on the wall of it, but I have no idea what, other than they're just collectibles. I'm sure there's something behind them, but I don't know.
It's a very cheap collectible.
Yeah. Now they're going to, they still sell the poker chips, but they're selling now something I've noticed has gotten, they call them tokens?
Look at the challenge.
Challenge coins.
Challenge
yeah,
coins.
yeah.
Maybe they've always had them or whatever. I've not
Yeah.
really paid much attention to those. And so the lady asked me the other day, well, you going to get a challenge coins? And I said, no. And I was pretty aggressive. She said, didn't mean to offend you. I said, you didn't offend me, but I'm collecting enough stuff. I don't want to start something else.
Well, I don't want to be
When I was
challenged.
introduced to them,
Yeah, I
it
know.
was presented as an option. You know, if you don't want to buy the $40 T-shirt,
Yeah.
then you can buy the $4 poker chip.
Yeah.
It really didn't work out for me that way. I ended up buying both.
Yeah,
And half.
Because, screw
That's
your
right.
wallet book.
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, who cares about that? That's right.
Screw
All right,
your-
so hey guys, this episode, which is like number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, somewhere along in there. We're still in season 1 though. As DJ said earlier, welcome, and we hope that you are liking and subscribing to the channel. Podcast is going out on all podcast platforms: Apple, Spreaker, iHeart, Spotify. It is everywhere. So you can find us about anywhere you want to. Look, we're here. All we're doing is having fun. We're having a blast. And at the moment, we're just in somebody's basement here. But we're just talking about motorcycles. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about Mickey Mouse and Harley Davidson, and Buck Owens and Bakersville. And we're even going to lower ourselves down enough to talk about Victory Motorcycles.
Hey,
I mean, we are
easy.
absolutely going to talk about anything. And at some point, we're even going to address politics and religion. How you like them apples? I ate them. So, how about that? But the last episode, we got hung up on ADVs. We're going to try not to do that this episode because this one right here is coming back shortly. By the time this airs, he probably will have already gotten back. But we're going to do an episode on his trip. He's going to do some videos. And we're going to kind of delve back off into the world of ADVs again. But for this particular episode, what we're going to do is kind of creep along on the catch-up route, which is what we're trying to do to get us to current. So lots of things have been happening in politics this year. Trump's supposed to have went to prison 4 or 5 times, 34 felony counts. Biden's out of the race.
Yeah.
Kamala, what's her name? Kamala has been it's been a nightmare. If you hadn't been following up, it's because you don't live in America, and that's probably, I don't know, maybe a good thing. I don't know. So that's been happening through the summer.
There's been 2 assassination attempts on the president.
As of September whatever today is, the 17th or so, there's been two assassination attempts on President Trump. But
and Epstein didn't hang himself.
Former President Trump, and Epstein still didn't kill himself.
That's right.
For sure. We did talk a little bit about Sturgis, and we went out there, spent a week or 2 out there, had a blast. You could just do episodes and episodes and episodes about that. It was these 2 guys right here, the ones that would be my second year, their first year. Next year will be his first year, and then we'll just all be talking about it a lot. But
you could ride out there for 2 months straight and never see the same thing.
I did literally say that. Yeah,
it would be just as awe-inspiring. Yeah. The second time was what it was the very first time you see it.
Yeah. What's the saying? Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. My dad used to say that. Year. That's right. I tell you what would be great, because I have no intentions of taking. The spouse and I have talked, and she's enjoyed it. Really don't have a desire to go back. She's a school teacher, so it's really a bad time for her. School starts back, so it's just really going to be a me trip going forward for Sturgis. So, if your ladies want to go, obviously that's fine. It don't matter however we want to go, but it'd be nice if John could jump in and we all 5 go out there and do some riding and just enjoy it, have a lot of memories, take some videos, some footage, and do some podcasts and stuff out there. But you're right. Some of the roads to get to certain places, like if you want to go to Mount Rushmore and then you go back the next day and want to go to Crazy Horse, you kind of have to go through a little bit the same roads, but they're just so awesome of roads, and the scenery is so good that you really don't mind it.
Yeah, the only thing that's really, I would say, boring, if there is boring, is just the interstate from Rapid City to Wall. That hour and 15, 20 minutes going down 90, and that high wind, and it's just vast, hour and 15 minutes of nothing.
The crosswind riding the interstates out there is really indescribable. We could sit here and talk about, oh my God, it blew me, but unless you actually get out there and do it, it's just, and I'm not talking about like storms. Like, we've been in wind around here. We get storms and tornadoes and bad weather in our area. And
pretty weather whenever you're going down the interstate.
But it can be just beautiful, sunny weather, just cruising down the interstate, and the wind's gusting at I don't know what feels like 80 miles.
Well, and you're running interstate speed, which out there is 80. And you've got your bike literally at almost a 45-degree angle
into the wind.
Yeah.
Going in a straight line, like you're wearing the one side or the other of your tires, going straight down the road.
Right.
So it's crazy.
And the difference between there and here, like you said it, here we have gusts. We have lots of windbreaks, trees, hills, mountains. Out there it's plains, right? So in that ride you're talking about from Rapid City to Wall, wind just constantly on you across those plains. It's not gusting; it's constant blow.
big highways out there, it'll wear you out.
Yeah, it will totally.
It is.
Sounds great.
He's going next year.
Well, I will say this. I will
it's
say
short.
there are many other ways to get there that you don't have to do that wind and you don't have to do the speeds. But if you want to try to get as much done as possible, and you think, well, I'm going to be there for 8 days, 5 days, 10 days, or whatever, there's still things you're not going to get to. Chris was there for 7, 8 days, and he never made it to Spearfish Canyon.
Right.
We tried several times, but
Right.
we did so much. But there are other ways to get there that won't be in that environment. But we were just like, all right, we need to take the interstate to get there, and then we'll go through the Badlands to get back and enjoy all the touring and so on. And so
Well,
forth.
and we planned it really good to, try to prioritize what you want to do that day, go to that region of wherever you're going to try to see the most stuff. But
Right.
And everything's there's a lot of things within an hour and a half.
Easy.
Yeah.
So you can hit, 2, 3 places, in one day. But
There's some stuff up in Montana, in North Dakota, that are kind of some side shows of the rally that people were saying, hey, if you get a chance, go here, go here. Those were an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours away kind of scenario. We didn't do that, but Devil's Tower and Badlands, they were both, decently distance away. But again, you plan it right and you can go. But
I liked going out to Devil's Tower. We stopped in that little town, population of 15, Aladdin.
yes,
Where the general store was. That's a neat
the store
place.
is 135 years old.
Wow.
And still has, when you walk in, if you can imagine back in the days of, Little House on the Prairie and, those old westerns where you walked in and saw the glass case with the revolvers laying in them, and the boxes of ammo. Mm-hmm. That case was still there. That didn't have guns and ammo in it anymore. But
they did sell ammo. Yeah, they
did.
sell ammo. It's kind of like a Mary Carter
of Coleman.
Coleman,
yeah. Those that are from that area will know that. But have you been to Mary Carter?
Like they'll sell you, pistol or rifle ammo, and sell you worms for your rod and reel over here.
Bait tackle and say some flour to cook with.
Over there. In the next room over, they'll frame your picture.
Yep, and then out front, you can pump some gas in your little T Model 4.
Yep, on the one pump that they got, and if you're thirsty while you're there, you can go in the bar that's attached to the general store.
I think they had
there.
4 seats in the bar.
Yeah, 4 seats in the bar. It's like it was the size of a walk-in closet. It's like
it was,
wow.
But they had a lot of stuff in there. Had a lot of drink.
Yeah, that was really cool. Take our picture with the sign population 15.
Yeah,
I really love Deadwood. That place. I mean, you can just see, back in the day, who's it that's buried there?
Oh, that's
He was shot there.
Oh, I can't.
Was it Wild Bill Hickok?
Yes,
that him?
that was it.
Yeah.
You can just see like on that old main street there, where we sat and had dinner. you can just imagine.
Imagine what it
was.
Lots
and lots of history,
calling each other out.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite places up there. Is probably Deadwood. I really like it a lot.
Yeah,
I like it really better than I think Sturgis itself.
Well, Sturgis is to be honest with you, outside of the rally events and things going on for that, Sturgis is really there's just not a lot to it. Like Deadwood has grown more. Hill City's got a little more. Rapid City's pretty big and got a lot of stuff. We went to Sicky's Garage and ate down there. Mm-hmm. And some other areas. Now Sturgis has got its own stuff, but it's a different world. One of the things that DJ and I and John were talking about back last year before I went was watching one of our folks we like to follow, Two Lane Life, the guys off of Two Lane Life. Shout out to you guys. Plug us on y'all's channel too. But they went out away from the rally time, took the wives, and did some touring and some video and footage and stuff, and it seemed to be pretty cool. A lot easier to get around and different things, and you don't have a lot of the rally and air about it and the activities. But motorcycle riding is still motorcycle riding. You're still getting to see the same, area. And matter of fact, DJ and John had planned on going this year.
Post-rally.
Right now.
Yeah.
Y'all would be there, I think, or heading there.
Working back or something.
Yeah.
around about now?
Because they were going to go take the wives and John's brother, and they were going to go out there and just ride or kind of enjoy the area without the hustle and bustle of the rally. So, but I will say to you, and anybody that asks, having gone 2 years now and been at the rally both times, but this year gone pre-rally for several days, that I think you need to experience both. Well, you need to go and take the wives and do without the rally, because the rallies, unless you have a motorcycle wife, and I mean like that enjoys that stuff, it's just not. And I don't know that any of us do. Our wives are great women, and they're but I
Or they're not overly laden with tattoos.
Yeah, it's just not. They don't ride their own bike, and they don't. I don't know. It's just a different world. But take them for pre-rally, and then ours flew home, and then we hung out for the rally. You came out, but yes, well, you had the right idea by saying, you know what, I'm gonna either my first trip or at some point I'm going to enjoy without all the crowds.
Yeah.
Because if somebody kicked over an anthill once Friday hits there.
Well, and I'll say this, I like rallies as much as anybody, and DJ can probably relate to this. Rallies are a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. But for me, once you go to one rally, whether it's Daytona, Laconia, wherever, Myrtle Beach, once you go to one rally, you've been to all the rallies, because the rally aspect of it is the same as far as high price beer, high price food. A lot of people that ride bikes.
All the same vendors.
Only that time of the year, like people that take their boat to the lake for Memorial Day, Labor Day. A lot of really non-riders, I guess you would say, not experienced motorcycle riders. So it can be kind of dangerous. But the week while we were up there before the rally, I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite time.
Yeah. I like the aspect of being able to, and we did a lot of this because we still had to ride around because Chris hadn't seen. But we do it when we go to Thunder Beach now because we've been down there so many times. But I really just go park and people watch and bike watch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some riding that we want to do, and even in Daytona now, we've been down there spring and fall for 4 years or however many years in a row now. There's really not anything we haven't seen, so we try to hit the spots we want to hit, eat the spots we want to eat, and then we just find somewhere to sit and watch people watch, and I just enjoy being in the environment. But no, You're right. I mean, and DJ has said it many times. I mean, at some point, it's, I don't know, it's like anything else, How many times we go play golf? We do the same thing every time we go, no matter what course. If you go to the lake, you do the same thing. But if you enjoy doing it, then, you find a way to just continue to enjoy it, or you stop doing it.
Well, so, and if you're going to the rally, if you're going for the, the parts world and, accessories, if you're adding to your bike, it's a great place to, find whatever you're looking at to add to your bike, because you can see it in a magazine or online all day long, but it may look different sitting on a bike, sitting right there in front of you. It might be just what.
So you're talking about, like, if you wanted an exhaust for your bike and you heard it in the video and it sounded really good, and then you bought it, you put it on your bike, and then it sounded like, I don't know, like a straight pipe coming off of a 350 block in your basement. And you'd be like, well, now I wish I'd have heard that somewhere.
Like a latex balloon attached to a hippo's butthole.
Something. Oh my God! I'm not sure where I like it. Yeah.
I'm not sure where you.
I don't even know how you
Yeah.
come up with something like that.
So anyway, without going off into that rabbit hole too much,
we'll get onto that.
But
stay tuned.
But then you've got the discount. A lot of them offer discounts for doing stuff at the rallies, right?
They do.
Or they'll put it on for free.
And his first time down went before I bought, or maybe I'd already bought. I think I'd already bought. You went down with your uncle. And he came back, and that was one thing he says, man, I got, my bars put on, I got this put on, I didn't pay installation price, didn't have to, or, something along the lines, and a lot of times it's 10% discount. Yeah. So there is opportunities to get some of those, and you've experienced it.
Yeah.
But, and there's also, it's like, maybe I equate this right. Tell me if y'all don't think it's a good way to give an example, but it's kind of, I could go out and buy myself something, that I want, and I buy that item and I open it up and enjoy it, whatever that may be. But if I unwrapped it from under the Christmas tree, somebody bought it for me. There's a little different approach there, a little different. You know, and I feel like going down there and doing that sometimes is a little different. If I order it here and put it in here, and I do enjoy working on my bikes, don't get me wrong. But there's a little something about, you know, buzzing up to the crowd, revving the motor up, you know, get out of my way, you know, I'm going to get something done.
Brother.
That's right. You know, pull up, you know, the next thing you come back to it, you know, you pick your bike up and you've got new bars or lights or, you know, exhaust or, you know,
air ride suspension where it's dragging its tail like a dog.
You know, so whatever it may be, you know, so there's
Then you just drive through the crowd, just raise it up.
Yeah.
Raise it back up.
Excuse me.
The whole time, you know, singing that rap song about 16 switches, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I
Damn,
got the
she's
two.
hot.
Yeah.
You look like what did the old school Mexican guys call their car?
Kicks on.
The old school Mexican guys called their car the hip. What did they call it?
Oh, the ones that three-wheeling like this?
Yeah, they used to.
Yeah.
But there was a word for it. They called it. I'll think of it in a minute, maybe. But all right. So moving along, Sturgis was fantastic. We all got back from there, and now here we are getting ready for our fall trips. And the plan is to leave around the 15th. And Jeremy and I are going to ride to Daytona, and then it's the end of October, 1st of November is our birthday, so we're making this kind of an annual trip, riding to Daytona, barring the weather being an issue, and then Francine or something like that, and then riding back up to Thunder Beach, because in the spring, Panama City and Daytona are 2 months apart, 3 months apart. 2 months.
March to May.
March 1st to May 1st.
Too far apart to do back-to-back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd camp out somewhere along the way and wind up there. But in the fall, they're back-to-back weekends. So we ride down and ride back up and then come back home. It's a, 12-day trip or whatever, and we have intention of doing that again. But DJ and Chris are going to tag along, right, this year to Daytona. What are y'all's plans as far as now? Our plans last year was we rode. It was cold when we left, warm when we got back, but the weather was. I don't know if it could have gotten any better. I mean, it was
cold on the first couple of days.
First day there we
rode halfway, and then the next morning on the second day that we left, it was cold.
About 30. It's about 30.
38.
Yeah, 38 degrees, something like that. Yeah.
And I had. I was riding my Road Glide and had the, They
don't have lowers, so they don't block the wind off your legs.
Well, I had the aftermarket Harley fabric lowers zipped on there.
Yeah, I didn't even
and they do a good job. They do a good job, but it was like I've ridden a lot of miles in my lifetime, and like these guys all make fun of them because I don't like to ride when it's raining, and I don't like to ride when it's cold, and I don't like to ride when it's super hot. So I don't feel like I have anything to prove, but that's just me. But it was too cold. It was really cold that morning. Like if I would much rather have stayed in the bed and drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee.
We went to Starbucks and got coffee.
Not got on a bike at 7:45 in the morning that's got frost on the seat that you got to wipe off.
We did wipe the frost off. Here's the kicker about that, and we've done this. We've left from up here. And it'd be 38 degrees, and by the time we get to Panama City or wherever, we're into t-shirts and whatever. What was odd about that day, like we rode all the way from Auburn, Alabama, through Tifton, Georgia, through Valdosta, Georgia, and then north of Jacksonville, hitting 295, down to 95, into Daytona. We got there around 6 or 7 o'clock that night. It was already kind of getting dark. But not one time did I take off a leather.
No. Well,
it stayed cold that entire day, even with the sun shining.
Well, and you're heading south. You're heading to the
we were expecting to start shedding some stuff.
It's supposed to start warming up.
Everything stayed. We got to the next stop, and by course, by the time 4 or 5 o'clock rolls down, and we're in Jacksonville, we're like, well, the sun's starting to go down now, so I sure ain't taking it off.
Yeah. Typically, you hit that line where it's like. All right, the temperature just jumped 20 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm getting hot. I'm getting irritated.
Motor's putting off nice heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we got to stop.
Yeah.
But Randy's got a half tank.
Yeah.
We might have done that a couple times.
I usually get pretty anxious to, these base layers, these leathers.
Yeah.
This stuff's got to go.
Well, I mean, especially when you're talking about like leather. I mean, we talk about it, and we've got it laying back here. You guys have all got it. We all ride, put it on when it's cold or whatever, and it does its job. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It really, barring just sub temperatures, I just need one shirt on underneath the leather, and I'm pretty good to go. But when you cross that threshold and that sun starts pouncing down on that leather, and we thought that we talked about it we stopped at Starbucks about 8 o'clock, got us some coffee and a little breakfast, and thought, all right, we're not going to stop again until we get to Tifton. That's a pretty good little drive. Well, we had to for gas, but as far as like just spending any time, we rolled up in Tifton Harley Davidson, and we still on our chaps and our long stuff and our headgear and gaiters, and and we thought, well, maybe we'll take it off now. No, I think we'll wait a little longer.
and now, of course, we all dress. You don't want to look like a village person. Like you're a member of the village people. You dress for the ride, for the slide, not the ride, obviously. But it's a lot of trouble to take on and off. A lot of times here recently, I got to where I just leave mine on. I know I'm going to stink when I get there, but you're just going to have to smell me if that's the case. But it's a lot of trouble getting on and off. Yeah. I just leave it on.
And we got there. And, we'd undone everything, got everything in the house, and we were hungry.
Yeah.
So we rode to dinner, and I was thinking, well, I'm here. So, I'm not wearing my helmet in Florida, or whatever. And and didn't put on my gaiter, and just had my flannel on, short sleeve shirt, flannel. Froze my butt off.
I don't remember what we ate that first night when we got down there, but one of those.
What's that river? What's that restaurant there on the river?
Oh, I do.
Before we abandon this conversation, the likelihood of getting a ticket in Alabama for not wearing a helmet is pretty slim.
Quit trying to get me in trouble, DJ.
I mean, you tint your windows on your truck to a illegal number. You speed.
And he knows he's speeding because he's got a radar detector.
You think they're going to put the bracelets on?
I mean, they might.
If you don't want to wear a helmet, don't wear a helmet.
I've gotten pulled over for not wearing a helmet in Alabama before. I was 25 years old, 26, whatever, and I was going the back way to the ball field thinking that, well, I'm not going to get on. I lived in Bessemer at the time.
Did they give you a
I'm
ticket?
not going to get on. Oh, yes, they did. I was going through the residential neighborhood. I didn't get on back then. It was still 150, but I wasn't going to get on 150.
You were a 25-year-old on a KZ without a helmet on.
He pulled me on and goes, there's a helmet law in this town, boy. And I was like, well, you can kiss me. No. Well, I was like, yes, sir, I do, but I was just going to the ball field. But
I'm on board. If you don't want to wear a helmet, don't wear a helmet.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll pay the ticket if you could.
Well, it's too late then at that point. They got a ticket. It's on my record.
Well,
it's not on your driving record. It's a non-moving violation.
I'm pro helmet. They're there for a reason. I think it should be an option, but of course.
He is too. That's why I'm giving.
I am. I'm pro helmet. There's great.
I'm going to wear it.
Quality and craftsmanship.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
or when you're on the Pan American.
Yes. Well, that's another conversation. When we come back to this ADV world, I'm going to tell you, ADV people are just some weird suckers, all right? So, we're in Arizona or we're in Sturgis. Well, even no matter where, really, even around here. I'm pulling up on the road glide or wherever, no helmet if I don't have to, and stay short sleeve shirt, shorts, and my Chuck tees, cruising up, pop, 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 pull up. Then this guy in AVD, he looks like the Michelin Man. He's got a full face helmet.
Looks like he could bounce off a guardrail.
And walk away from it. Yeah. And walk away from it.
And we've got ADV bikes also. What is the protocol for, is there a right or wrong helmet to wear with an adventure bike? Do they have to have a beak?
Well, hang on. I have that. Let me tell you something what looks retarded. Teachers, sorry. Is when you wear a half helmet riding one. Guilty. He come riding up here one day in that half helmet.
I'd like, you know, I honestly, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like
Daytona last year.
Don't
like a straight up
that
beanie?
again.
Like a,
Oh yeah, like the micro dots right here.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Look, we were in Daytona. I had my road glide down there. I had the BMW down there. So, I mean, I was in my typical rally mode. So I got my chain with my wallet. I got my jeans. I got my boots.
With a half helmet on the
I got my
GS.
T-shirts and my half helmet.
Oh my God!
But I wanted to ride GS.
Yep.
So all y'all kiss my
So when I say you're right though about these guys being completely decked out,
Oh, they are.
head to
They
foot. It makes me think of like NASA spacesuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I pull
I
up
see a lot of them.
I pull up beside one of them, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to my
Well, you know, in a lot of them, you know, and I'm big on, you know, PPE. You know, I've been medevaced, you know, unfortunately in a motorcycle accident, so I'm big on PPE. However, you know, there is an extreme to it. Like you see these guys riding on the street, like, you know, they're going to Dollar General. And they've got on, you know, chest protectors, it's carbon fiber and everything else. Like, dude, where the hell are you going?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, so for instance, the ADV, and I know you've watched a ton of them too, but the ADV guys that are documenting their trips, you know, I mean, again, they're dressed Michelin man. They can bounce off a guardrail, whatever. And I'm like, okay, you're only going, I'm on the interstate in, you know, Sturgis. I'm doing 80 miles an hour with a short sleeve shirt and jeans and Chuck T's and no helmet.
And a bandana.
And didn't say that was a smart thing. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing. And then these guys are doing barely 5 to 10 miles an hour over creek bed rocks and could literally fall, and I've seen them fall over, get up, pick it up, and get back on and take off, you know, because they didn't feel anything.
They look like,
so I don't know.
A lot of them look like they're dressed to go, you know, dismember a bomb, you know, in the Middle East. And I just don't understand it. At what point?
I wish they had a really good quality. Maybe we'll reach out to one of those ADV guys that's like been doing it for years and just say, give us some feedback, because I'm not. I don't mean to be making fun of it. I'm not doing it because I've already caught myself doing it. But
I've got a couple of theories, and
let's hear it, Top Helmet.
I'll start with the first one.
Okay.
I believe that the heavyweight cruiser gives you a false sense of security.
Oh, okay.
Like you feel like it's big and heavy, and
it's
going to protect you.
Yeah, it's very stable.
It's stable. You know, it's low COG. It's all these things, so I'm protected.
I buy that.
Now, there may be some truth to that. I don't know. I don't know that anybody's ever going to make that study. But, I mean, I'm the same way. I get on my road glide, and I'm in a T-shirt and a pair of jeans and maybe tennis shoes.
I'm right here in Florida.
Yeah. But I think the heavy weight of the motorcycle gives you a false sense of security.
Well, you know, they're like a two-wheel Buick as it is. You know, they
are.
With the bags and the big fairing and all, yes, I get that.
They are, but I think if you went down on it, like in a significant event.
Still same broken arm, broken leg.
That stuff
it
ain't going to matter. So that's one theory. That the weight gives you that false sense of security. The other theory is if you do the adventure gear, for the most part, you're not packing anything other than underwear.
Right.
So if you're doing multi-day trips, you've got your riding pants, you've got your riding jacket, and then I'm going to change some underwear.
Well, what if they want to go to, you know, Applebee's? They going to wear that to Applebee's?
Sure.
I see them all the time in restaurants, stores, if they're on a trip.
Most of the time they are.
When we went to, I saw you, I looked on 360 the other day, and you were at the restaurant up there just a couple days ago. Smith Lake. We went to it.
No, Brothers. Yeah.
Gold Diggers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those two guys.
Yeah.
They came in there, but they took their helmet and some of their big jacket off, but they kept their pants and all on and came in and ate.
But those pants are, I've got a set.
They're nice pants. I mean, it's good gear.
They're super expensive. They're
good gear. Yours are clam, right?
They're windproof. They're waterproof. They're ventilated. Like there's zippers all over that thing. I can have as much ventilation as I want or as little ventilation as I want. And they do a really good job.
Well, you know, my jacket that I wear when I'm riding the KTM, I've had it. It's made by Sixth Gear. I got it in Nashville. Good gear. You know, it's a lot of better stuff out there right now, but it's got the ventilation on it, and you know, you got to be careful because it's got the, you know, you unzip the zippers here. You got to make sure you open up the zipper and back, because if not, you go down the road and you blown up like you look like you're 400 pounds. Right?
But that may be part of the cushion. That may be, you know.
Well, I'm guessing. I don't know. But now it's black, you know, and a lot of ADV riders, you know, you see a lot of them wearing like, what is it, like construction yellow, you know, high vis.
Yeah, orange and yellow. Yeah.
It's definitely a different world.
So, yes, that's a topic that will kind of be perpetual here. That'll be, we'll have to go through that. And I don't currently own anything outside of a jacket that I bought from, you know, Harley years ago that is an adventure, I guess, jacket. But I bought it because it's mesh and it was on sale. But I know you bought some stuff, and my God, the market out there is just, you know, it's like anything else. If you're into Jeeps, there's a world for everything.
Purpose, though.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the beaks. So my understanding, and I'm in the market for one. I haven't decided which one I want, but I think Arise.
Arise,
go with.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've seen their helmets.
They're good.
So at low speeds, if you've got glasses on or your visor closed, they tend to fog. So you can raise the visor and not have to wear glasses and still have sun protection. Okay, and
water
reduce
and
glare.
Yeah,
is another big one. So
well, and what I've heard and what I've read, because I've kind of been in the market because I'm wearing an HJC typical full face helmet that I have. I love it. I've had it for a while. It's a good helmet. Is what I've read is the ADV helmets that have the beak. If you don't have something with a lot of wind protection, like a bigger windshield or whatever, then the helmet it's bad about catching a lot of air.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes a lot of
most
fatigue.
of the time the beak is very easily removable, and if you're traveling at any rate of speed, you're going to take the beak off so it doesn't catch that air.
Yeah.
It's mostly geared towards
off-road
and slow ride.
Off-road,
Well, and that's also
lower speed.
I did read why it has holes right under here too, is from mild wind will escape under, you know, through it.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously if you're doing 40, 50, 60 and all up, then, you know, you're not going to.
So, and this might be a dumb question, but
No such thing.
I would assume same kind of like DOT standards and things like that,
All of them
impact
does.
standards for.
Yeah.
I think most of the good higher quality ones now are
Snell.
They're Snell rated.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
versus, you know, on our baggers, we're hoping that we find a helmet that fits our likings. That's
Right.
DOT certified.
Right.
Well, and my helmet that I use whenever I ride my bagger, it's it's like the Temu version of a good helmet. It's literally a plastic shell with a.
So you don't wear it on the KTM?
No, I don't.
Why?
Well, it's a different look. It's kind of like.
So we are truly going for looks on the bike.
So it's just aesthetics.
It's just aesthetics, yeah. Like, but it's more of a plastic, literally a plastic shell with a sticker on it. It virtually offers no protection.
He got out of the Cracker Jack box, he got a DOT sticker and put on the back of it.
So why do you feel okay to wear the Cracker Jack helmet on the bagger, but then when you get on your KTM, you feel the need to go to full face DOT?
Let me answer the question why I feel that way. Because I've seen you in a half helmet, that's why.
Well, for me,
I'm like, I can't do it.
For me, whenever I ride the bagger on those days, I feel like I'm a lot more tough. Like, even though I don't have any tattoos, you know, because, you know.
Do you get on your bagger and feel like you want to kickstart it? That's how badass you
Yeah, well, you know, and I ain't got a problem with tattoos. I mean, tattoos are okay, I guess. I mean, I don't have any. I mean, I kind of look at that like, you ever seen a bumper sticker on a Ferrari? But, you know, that's just me.
Let's see, you got one or two. You got one or two.
But
we just open a can
but
of worms?
I feel a lot tougher.
Delete.
I feel a lot tougher whenever I ride the Harley, and I don't know. It's just if I go on a road trip,
You said that not too long ago.
What's that bush you got growing on your chin make you feel like?
You know,
if his nose was big enough, it'd look like his. We're better.
This is actually a much deeper conversation that we could have and maybe get into at some point. But I mean, look at I think the TV show Sons of Anarchy had such a huge impact on the rider today, the Harley guy of today. They want that half shell beanie helmet look.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the German style helmet, because those shows really showcased that type of riding gear.
Hollywood does it.
Yeah.
That show turned a lot of wannabe bikers into
weekend warriors.
Yeah. You know, to say the least.
People that'll put 200 miles a year on their bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of them, you know, I feel like have tried to adapt a lot of that, you know, Hollywood persona that came along with that show. And you know, I don't know, you know, in a real biker bar, that's not the best attitude and approach to take with a lot of people. You know, it's all a brotherhood. We all want to get along, but like, you know.
Yeah. I think that when you go downstairs and you get on, you know, one of your bikes, so you get on your bike, I get on my bike, they get on theirs.
Brother.
That's right. It's like getting up in the morning and saying that I have a meeting I've got to go to. There is a section of clothes in my closet that I will wear, and there's sections that I don't wear.
That's what I do too.
If I'm going to church, there's a section of used to be. There was a section of clothes that I wore, suits, ties, dress shirts, dress pants, whatever. I only wore them when they didn't wear them. And I feel to say, I come down the steps, I'm going to ride. Once I decide which one I'm going to ride, if I hadn't already, then I know that dress. I know what you're thinking, so shut your mouth.
Dress.
I find that dress code or that dress, you know, whatever that fits for that bike, or what I'm going to go do.
Which may or may not be color coordinated.
No, mine will be color coordinated. I can promise you that. Anyway, and then I put it on. It's almost feminine sounding that it matches the mood.
Not almost.
Kind of is, don't it? But I like.
Do you keep all those clothes in the same closet as you keep your OnlyFans wardrobes?
The OnlyFans wardrobes go in a drawer.
It's a rather small drawer.
And they'll all fit in there.
Wow.
That turned enough really quick. But truly, though, I mean, and it's like packing for our fall trip when we go down. You know, one or two. Where did we go? We went somewhere, and we were at Thunder Beach. And you packed one pair of jeans.
Probably.
And they got wet or something, and we tried to find some, and we couldn't find any. We were going to buy them, so you wound up having to wash them or something.
Well, as men, we pack differently than all of our wives do. You know, we can make it on. We can make it on.
Look, I traveled.
He may have to have his stuff shipped.
Well,
we're going. He's going to change his britches.
I traveled in business for years, and I used to get stuck. And you got to stay another week, and I didn't have enough clothes, or whatever may be the case. Back then, they didn't have washing machines and dryers. So when I pack, if I can get it in there and bag ahead, I'm loading it up.
Well, I pack double underwear, double socks. Normally for a week, I'll 3 pairs of jeans and 6 t-shirts, 5 or 6 t-shirts. That's enough for me. Because jeans normally I wear at least a couple of days.
Yeah, and things have changed. You know, now. You know, I don't know if it's the world's changed, we've changed, we've gotten older, we're in a different place financially than we were years ago or whatever, but typically we're staying in an Airbnb that's got a washer and a dryer.
Yeah.
And washing a load of clothes.
Right.
Now, I may or may not know how to operate the washer. I have to watch a YouTube video on that, but you know, it's not a big deal to day 2 to throw a load of clothes in and you know, freshen up your underwear a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you don't have a clean pair, I've always heard you can just turn them inside out and wear them inside out.
Right.
I mean, that's you know.
Well,
So
I mean,
you know, I used to have a camp towel, and You got a butt end and a face end.
That's right. Yeah.
And there you have it. All right, then.
Take you some dude wipes.
So the trips and the fun and the memories have been made. We've had a lot of. There was this one time in wherever we were at, Stories.
Yeah.
We just enjoy it and have a good time. So we're going to wrap this episode up. But I'd like to pose one last question to maybe each of you to kind of chime in on as to kind of give me your thoughts. Do you feel... Let me see.
That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It is.
Like Victory Motorcycles is the best motorcycle brand still on the market today. I'm really disappointed that we went this whole episode and we didn't even talk about
We're going to dedicate...
We lobbed you a couple out there over the
We
plate.
did. Yeah, it was almost like shooting skeets. I mean, you let it hit the ground.
And we didn't talk about that. That's actually what I'm riding to the to make our round trip in the fall. To
please cut the video. Cut the video. I don't want nobody to know this.
I'll be riding the jackpot.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not enjoyment, 10 being enjoyment, full enjoyment.
Full release.
Right hand or left hand? You started. I wasn't going there. I'm sorry. Lord forgive us. That's not what we were doing. Okay. We sound like FDB there for a minute. All right.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
What's the movie about Eden East and Eden West?
Oh, it's a couples retreat.
Yeah.
I thought they were Eden East.
The guys in the
That's right.
Getting his massage. That's just the full release.
John Favreau. Oh my God, he's crazy. Okay, that's another thing we'll be talking about is a lot of movies. Okay, so scale of 1 to 10. 1 being no enjoyment, 10 being enjoyment. Where does it fit for you riding solo and or versus, that's 3 things, riding with friends? What do you get the most out of? Do you, and I don't mean prefer, because I think that's different. Your preference can be, I definitely want to have some brothers around and go ride. I'm talking about for you. And we talk about in the motorcycle world, especially if you do social media on TikTok, you'll see a lot of guys that'll post, about their sanity and their life, and when I need to regroup, and it's just me and the bike and a solo ride. I get that. Mm-hmm. Where does it fit for each of you? Take a couple of minutes and say, where that 1 to 10 fits for you, solo and friends, and maybe even with your spouse. Chris, start with you.
Since my spouse may see this, no. So yeah, I definitely have those moments where I feel like I don't really understand the scale. Maybe you can explain that to me a little bit more here. But
where you as a man,
yeah,
find fulfillment, enjoy. When you need that getaway, are you good to just be solo on the bike? And is that a 10 for you, or would you prefer to be, with friends?
No, I'd much rather be with friends.
Okay.
Because now I'm an introverted person, and I recharge by being alone or by being around my closest, my tribe, my closest friends, family. And there are times when I need a little wind therapy, and I get out and hit it. I used to do that on my lunch breaks when I worked in, manufacturing. You have enough of people, and you get an hour lunch break, and just get on the bike and go clear your head for a little bit. But I got into, part of the reason why I got into motorcycle riding was to have the camaraderie that I have with guys like you, and the stories. And I talked about this before. Being able to go on these rides, whether it's we're riding down to the marina to have a couple drinks and dinner, and ride back home, or if it's going on a 7-8 day journey to South Dakota and we get to share some moments together, and we come back with stories that we'll be telling each other for the rest of our lives.
Right.
Hence the ice bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
We will not be telling that story.
We will not tell that story. But that was part of the draw of motorcycling and this lifestyle for me. So I'd say I'm a hard 10.
Okay.
It's going to be another dynamic answer for me, I think. I mean, there's times when it really all kind of, there's a place for it. Some afternoons I come home from work and I really look forward to that time where it's just me and the bike and Steppenwolf or whoever it may be.
Dave Matthews today.
Yeah, it was Dave Matthews today. I just like a nice ride to just chill and decompress and jam. And then there's other times, I feel like I probably sit on the extrovert side of things more than most. So, I like a small group. We talked about when y'all were on y'all's way back from Sturgis, John and I had gone up to Missouri to ride. And it was just he and I. We had a great time, enjoyed that time. It was just two of us, so it wasn't like, that you just move at a different pace than you do if there's 5, 6, 8 bikes involved.
I totally get that.
So, there's a place for that I totally dig, and then there's the other side of it where, man, there's nothing that compares to, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes, kicking it down the highway
Side by side or however, yeah.
2 deep, 3 deep,
Yeah.
roaring. It really makes you feel some kind of way. So
Too wide at 70 miles an hour.
yeah,
It does.
it
does.
And so I can appreciate that too, and have moments when that's really the time I appreciate.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Your turn. I'll go last.
I love motorcycles. I've been riding since I was 5. It's for me. I love all my time on the bikes. I absolutely love riding solo, riding alone. I love riding with, of course, all my friends, and you guys are like my own family, extended family. And there's, like DJ said, I prefer group riding whenever there are, no more than 4 or 5 bikes. I don't like, personally myself, I don't like doing like big poker runs and stuff like that. It's just too many bikes, a lot of inexperienced riders. For me, riding it's a release for me. I have no problems going and getting on a bike and, spending a half a day or all day. Therapy's cheap when,
Sure.
Therapy's expensive, wind is cheap. Whenever I ride, it gives me a sense of having control over things in life that I don't have control over.
Right.
So it makes me, reset, regroup, and be able to have that sense of, okay, well, this is what I need to do. It's a real good reset for me. But I love my wife and I love whenever she rides. It's a different dynamic. A lot of times a different style. Am I careless whenever I'm solo? No, absolutely not. But it's just a different ride whenever you're by yourself.
Sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much where I am with it.
So I guess my answer may explain my question better than my question. And he and I have talked about this a lot over the years since we started riding together. I love riding with you guys. One of my greatest memories to today, and I really can't think of ever there being a memory that would probably surpass it. Sturgis is definitely right there beside it, but was the day that we rode. You led us on a goose chase to Papa Rocco's and had dinner. We're coming back. It was an unscheduled, unplanned trip. It's midnight. and he and Iron John are 80 miles an hour flying up 65 on a Sunday night, side by side, and we hit Alabaster where the lanes spread to 3 and 4, and we got three wide. And yeah, I get chills now just talking about it.
It was
badass. It was just absolutely badass.
It felt like we were the only ones on the road.
Yeah, and anybody, nothing else mattered. Nobody else mattered. Yeah. And
the best motorcycle trips to me are definitely unplanned. Like whenever I go on a trip, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. It's good to have an itinerary of things you want to do, things you want to see. But
we do that because we're limited on time.
Right.
We got to be back home. Work's got whatever.
But life is so controlled, as you got schedules and deadlines here and deadlines here. Whenever I go on a lot of bike trips, unless it's something I want to see and make time to do, like I don't like having any kind of an itinerary.
Yeah.
Just me personally.
Well, and that's what we did last year. So our trip last fall, that was one of my top trips. We did the same thing, cruising around Daytona, going there, driving over to Panama City the next day where it took us we took a long time to get there. But those I cherish. And on the meter, they can range, from a 5 to a 10. I've been on trips where I didn't lead, I was a tail gunner or I was in the back, but I enjoy being on two wheels. So that's kind of a 5 or 6. And then I've been kind of involved in where we're going, what we're doing, and maybe the meter moves on up a little bit. It kind of ranges. But there is a difference for me when she doesn't go, and I again, like you, Shelly likes to ride, and when she goes, we have a blast, and I enjoy that. But the meter is pegging at 10 when I hop on one of these bikes, and I just go. I have just solo.
I'm right there with you.
It has nothing to do with you guys, how I like you, I don't like it. It has nothing to do with it is all about me at that point.
Yeah.
And the meter just pegs. It ranges, it's wide range, from we've had moments where we didn't really have a lot of fun, and the meter was kind of down a little bit, and then there was times we had too much fun and the meter's pegging. So that range is good, but to me on a solo, me getting on the bike and just going somewhere, whether it's the ride from here to Arizona by myself for 1,892 miles, or from here to Coleman to try to Marina to sit and have a beer, with or without somebody, meet somebody.
Well, and
the meter's just pegging.
And how you're having fun is even whenever you're by yourself. Like whenever I told you, I got that KTM and I strapped on my stuff, put my jacket on, and I took it down the road, and it was a solo ride. I was just checking out the bike, and after not even 10 minutes, I came out of a sweeping curve in third gear and twisted the throttle, and you can't wipe that crap-eating grin off your face. And I was talking to myself on the inside of my helmet and was like, God, I love this stuff. This is great. It don't get no better than this.
It's what it does. It's what it does. And I see. Look, guys, we're on all kind of social media. And I've got friends out there. I've got friends that range from Washington to Oregon, and I don't mean friends like these friends, but it's acquaintances, I guess I should say. And I consider them family. We ride motorcycle, we talk, we chat back and forth. We've met in different cities and rallies and circumstances, but they all share the same message, male and female. That they have those times where they love riding with friends and around people and going to rallies and doing all that stuff. But whether it's the Blount County Loop or the 157 ride, or whatever your ride is, whatever my ride is, it's just that. I rode the other day, took the PA and rode up Locust Fork, went around Highway 15 across to 75, went up the mountain, stopped at the Inland Dam, sat there for a minute. The sun was out, it was beautiful. Went on up around Straight Mountain and come out and went back down to Naniana.
It's a good ride.
Man, I got back and talking about the crap eating grin. I probably had one on my face.
I mean, you crack that throttle and you feel the machine.
I was repaired.
Yeah,
for a few minutes.
It changes your perspective for sure, and it gives, I think, as men with responsibilities, with families, with work. moments that we can take for ourselves and feel that true freedom.
Right.
I'm in control of this. I'm in control
Right.
of this.
That's right.
And where I go and how much time I do it. You know,
And
there's something
we
to
as
that.
men, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No.
that really brought up a point because I was thinking about that earlier in another conversation we were having. There are so many times where, you know, we're fixing, and I'll speak for DJ and I think he can change the words if I'm putting the wrong ones in his mouth, but I often think, you know, I provide for my family, you know, at least the main provider. You know, what if something were to happen? That's a burden that the main breadwinner in every house carries, all right? If something happens and you can no longer do your job or do it or whatever happens, but DJ and I, we sit in even a little different because it's not just me. I've got 10 guys that work for me.
Right.
Their family, their children that sit at their table tonight and ate dinner, I'm responsible for.
Right.
You know, and that's a burden to carry. And it's a burden that sometimes, I just got to tell you,
It gets heavy.
I mean, I've sat down many nights and cried. I have. I'm prayed, and that's not something I talk to anybody about. Because, you know, he and I have probably that's probably brought he and I closer together over the years that we've known one another than anything else was our camaraderie in business ownership, because we have so much in common, especially in the field we're in, high voltage, low voltage, and we deal with a lot of the same. It is a world that there's not a lot of people. When I say not a lot of people, he being really the only one that I can just talk to. You know, whether we jump in a truck and head to Nashville for a day trip or to Atlanta because he needs to pick up a part, or, you know, wherever it may be. We've done that many a times, and we just you know, unload on each other.
Yeah.
It's not things you can do to your wife. It's
Right.
not things you can do to your wife. They want to be there. I mean, the roles reversed. Really, it's the same thing. You can't be there. There's something, and I try to tell, you know, you need your friends. You need, because I can't be everything.
Yeah.
And you can't be everything. So yes, on that meter, jumping on that bike and firing it up, the cam just skipping a little bit, and then me buzzing off for even just an hour, as you say you like to do, is, yeah.
Motorcycles are a very good release. You know, and you know, going back to, you know, me being in that accident back in 2008, you know, as soon as I got healed up enough to ride, it was about 8 months that I was, you know, down and couldn't ride. You know, whenever I got able, one of the first things I done was get back on a bike. I mean, I feel like if it's in you, it's in you. And motorcycles are dangerous. Well, the world is dangerous. And, you know, what I tell all my people and all my friends and everybody that knows me, you know, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And if it's on a motorcycle, just know that I was doing exactly what I wanted to do whenever I left this world. It doesn't make me not want to ride. No, absolutely not. It makes me want to ride more. I need to get more motorcycling in before that time comes.
Right.
You know. But
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to go. I mean, well, except for those that, you know, maybe take their own lives. You know, that's. But nobody wants to. But I've told her, if you get the phone call, you know, don't cry.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely
you got to
not.
know. You know, when I went down before, mine wasn't as bad as yours by any stretch, but, you know, after I got my breath back to me and realized that I wasn't dying, although I felt like I was for a few moments, laying on the asphalt there, and I just thought to myself, and I said, I'm going to ride again at some point. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm probably going to get to ride again. You know, that was a big deal, because again, what I did, I had just come out of a divorce, so buying the motorcycle was big for me. You know, you and I had many conversations about, hey, I wanted to buy a Jeep, and I went to buy one several times. I couldn't. I'm not saying this is a God thing, buying a motorcycle. I'm not going to get religious about it, but it just seemed to not be about the Jeep. 4 times I went to buy one, had cash in hand, and every time on the way to pick it up, the guy called and said, somebody offered me full price, man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take his price. And I'm like, hey, man, you do you, and you make the money you can. So I bailed out of the deal. or he bailed me out of the deal. But the very first motorcycle that I went to buy, I cut the deal on the spot, went back and picked the bike up. That'd be a story for
Yellow
another day.
shoes.
Yellow shoes and all. That's right.
Yellow shoes.
But
Safety shoes.
Picked it up off the curb. and jumped
yeah, I jumped the curb. I have jumped motorcycles. Don't anybody tell you that I can't happen? That it can't
If
happen?
they say you can't, if they say you can't ramp a 900-pound street glide over a 7-inch
Curb?
street curb, and
over a culvert.
and clear an 8-foot culvert and stick it, don't let them tell you that. 'cause
Buddy, I
we
stuck
done.
it, landed it. Only thing wrong was the bag was laying over there, and I may have been bruised from landing on the bars.
I saw it with my own 2 eyes. That saddlebag says flew off.
Everything came out of it. Here's the good thing. That's a
every
story
two-
we'll go into a little bit
saddlebag.
deeper, but here's the most interesting part about that entire thing. I was test riding the bike, it wasn't even mine.
Which is why you don't let nobody ride your bike
Right.
unless you own it.
All right, guys. Look, we've had a blast. Until next time, God bless you. 2 wheels down. Enjoy life. I don't care what you ride. Victory, domestic, foreign, it don't matter.
Underdog.
All right, God bless. Take care. 2 lane out. Here we go.